Hey there everyone, Luke here, and once again I apologise for being behind on the chapters. I've just had so much stuff going on and other activities getting in the way that it's kind of like forced it back a bit. But I'm here now. Hopefully this week we're going to get through chapters 238 and chapters 239, prep for chapters 240 next week. So fingers crossed we can do this. So anyway, let's start off with chapter 238 titled Bone Crisis Part 7. I have no idea now how long this arc is going to go on for. It could go on for another 10 chapters, could go on for another like 15 chapters. Who knows at this point? But no beating around the bush, let's just dive right into it. So okay, it starts off from like a cliffhanger from previous chapters where we have Aggro and Maverick, or Slump as Maverick, staring each other down, and they're just intently watching here as Aggro says that, oh, you'll pay for that, Maverick, basically paying for the insults that Maverick Slump as Maverick threw at him without even knowing like they were actually meant to be insults. And we have Keigo here weighing out the options. It's just like, okay, if the two of them were to fight, were busted, like, Aggro obviously figure out that Slump is imitating Maverick, and if Charming recalls Slump, then we're still busted, because then he's going to break the illusion, so, like, Aggro will still see Slump as Maverick. So, like, they're kind of in a little bit of a pickle here, like, they don't know exactly what to do, or they can either fight and then realise, like, oh, this is not Maverick, or they can either retreat and then realise that it's not Maverick, so really have no way to do, like, so it's really going to turn into fight if anything happens. So they've got to steal the bone no matter what. Which again, I'm still going on that theory that the bones that the warlocks have are fakes or impersonations of the real bones that are basically meant to be used as decoys, because Shikimiya knows like, oh, they're probably going to come after us, so we're going to have to like create decoys to figure out like, oh, you think we've got the bones on us, but no, in actuality we have not. But as Kay was weighing out these options, he's like, okay, do I jump out now and just seize the inevitable? Because at this point, so it's a fight on the cards anyway, so I've got to like make the first move, got to turn into Wolf, but he's still hesitating about doing it. Like he's with his wristband, wanting to turn it, wanting to get Wolf to come out, but he's still like contemplating it, still taking his time with it. But as they do that, they hear footsteps walking to them, and they just start freezing like, okay, who is it that's going to come around the corner? And it turns out it's Shikimi, and they're just there like, oh my god, no, it's the big bad here. Like, what? They start freaking out, like, honestly freaking out, like, Shikimi, is it? Does that mean Morihito's, like, failed before? Is it going to be, like, a repeat of the day of the disaster? Like, you can see, like, look on Charmy and Kayla's face, like, okay, yeah. We are screwed if this guy is here, and if things are gonna hit the fans. But as Aggro is seeing this, like, we see Shikimi just staring at, not giving off, like, it seems to be like the way the author's drawn this, it's like Shikimi is not giving out like the same like intense like aura that normally would be emanating from him, because it just seems like more like he's got bags on his side. It does make sense as we go further on in the chapter, but that's like something I noticed here, like Shikimi in this state is not acting like he would normally act in chapters, and even Keigo and Charmy are bringing this up, like weighing out the options, and like, what is Shikimi doing here? We thought that Morihito was meant to be watching him, so did he steal the bone already? But if that's the case, then Morihito would have contacted them, so they're coming to the conclusion that did Shikimiya take Morihito out before we actually have Shikimiya speaking here and asking like what is going on here, but saying it in like a really aggressive tone, because Shikimiya is quite a calm and collective person, like doesn't really raise his voice, and really stoic as well, kind of similar to Asa from Mission Yosako Family. To see him coming off like this, like really angry and really threatening, this is where we get like the biggest clue of like, okay, yeah, something is definitely going on with Shikimiya here. So as Shikimiya questions like what the hell is actually going on here, he mentions like part of the reason we're on this boat is to get to know each other, and yet you two are fighting. Perhaps I overestimated you. And as Agro tries to defend it, to defend their actions, Shikimi and Raz like, listen, I split the bone to reduce the risk of losing it, but losing both of you won't have an effect on my plans at all. And he questions Agro like, hey, do you want to die? Do you want to die here? And as Agro is seeing this and staring down at Shikimia, or what he may perceive to be Shikimia, we have Keigo saying like, oh come on Charlie, quick, they're all distracted, like we could go around and check on Morihito, he could be in big trouble, like we've got to get out of here and go and book it. But Charlie is there just being like, no, wait, no, there's something going on here, and I don't think that this is Shikimia for one reason. My alert hasn't even gone off, and that's like a really big clue right there. Yeah, this is not Shikimia, because otherwise Charming would have sensed like, oh my god, yeah, this is the real deal coming through, like her warlock senses would have been tingling. And as Kyo asked this, we have more of the conversation between the person pretending to be Shikimia, Agro, and Maverick. As I say, I thought not. Don't disappoint me in any way. I want to see it with all of you. You know, once our plan succeeds and the whole world is changed, I want to look up at the sky. I'm sure that the bright blue sky will be brilliantly shine. And even though Agro and Maverick don't get this, like they're seeing Shikimia like, wait a minute, this guy, like this seriously stoic guy, has just gone on and said, I'm sure that the bright blue sky will be brilliantly sky beautiful. And even Charlie's there just being like, what? How cliche? How awful of a line that is. Like, Agro and Maverick are confused. Charlie's just there like dumbfounded, like, seriously, that's the best they could come up with. But this is actually a big clue for Keigo of knowing like who this actually is. That he knows that as a title of the movie, the first movie that him and Nemu actually watched together back in the chapter where it was just them two in the house alone, and they were like, oh my god, I'm so nervous, I don't know what to do here. Let's watch a film. So yeah, the Shikimia that we're seeing in this chapter is Nemu, which is a huge thing for her character. Like, if we think back to the beginning of the series, like how she could only turn into a cat, and now she has like the same power level as her mother to be able to turn into and replicate a person for Bayo. That is a big step for Nemu as a character. So yeah, really well done on her part. The fact that she's come so far in the series to get to this point of the fact that she's even surpassed her mother in a way, because her mother can only turn into other humans and replicate them, but can't turn into animals in the same way Nemu can. So Nemu's quite a OP character at the moment, like if she could turn into Shikimia and fool the warlocks in this way. So yeah, really well done here. Had me fooled for a moment until Charlie brought up the fact that, yeah, my warlock senses have gone up, so this is not Shikimia. Before we cut to a flashback where we have Nemu watching over Keigo actually training here. As she says like, oh, you've completely mastered the float spell, so that's something I would have expected from you, given the fact that you were a figure skater. You could have control of it over your entire body. But Keigo's like saying to her like, no, I've got a long way to go, especially compared to Morihito and the others. Like, they're in a way different class for me, and I'm just me, like, who relies on Wolf so much. Like, I'm not even up to the level where I can stand toe to toe with him when it comes to power skating. But especially to Morihito and the others, as Nemu says, like, wait a minute, I thought you said you didn't need to compare yourself to him. The way you move is unique to you. So Nemu at this point is like saying, like, look, again, just stop comparing yourself to others and like just get your own skills out there. But I can understand Keigo's logic here of the fact that he feels like he's inferior to the others, even though Nemu's saying not to compare yourself. Like, he just wants to be on their level and be and equal to them, not just be like, oh, the one that's holding the team back. He wants to stand with them on equal footing. So I do commend Keigo on that front. Nemu continues on and says that look at me, I'm a Mirio family witch, but I couldn't even counter what Nico could do. And speaking of pointless comparisons, she's the witch of thousands spells. So Nemu is obviously training herself to work on her shapeshifting skills little by little, and she hopes that one day she could be as good as her mother. And yes, she's already achieved that by being able to shapeshift into other people, as Keigo puts two and two together and realizes that, yeah, Nemu is the one here, as she reiterates to herself that what I wanted was to be like Mama, capable of shape-shifting into others, performing jobs with cool and confidence, and she looks up to her so much, even though her mother was telling her not to make friends. Like when we first saw her mother in the flashback, not to make friends because friends will hold you back and connections will hold you back. She still looked up to her mother as someone like, I want to be just as powerful as her and be able to stand toe to toe to her and even surpass her. And yet she has achieved that goal essentially at this point in the series. As she continues on saying, she was what I raised to become, but no matter how hard I tried, it was beyond me. I couldn't shapeshift into a human after just one touch. I could never do things like Mara did. But does that mean my efforts were wasted? No, she actually found a different way, a different approach to shape-shifting into others. I just have to change the way I go about it. What weapon do I have that's mine alone? That's obvious. It's her imagination. Like, we obviously know that she has to, like, just imagine someone or something, and then she can transform into it. And yeah, this kind of, like, this is the possibilities are endless here. Like, she could potentially imagine herself as like a combination of two people and just create some really, like, oh my god, that's both simultaneously horrific but hilarious. So she can observe something and then envision it and build on it. Visualize a clear image in her head that inhabits it. So she saw Shikimiya in person, saw him his declaration of war video, probably memorized like every single intricate detail about him in order to recall what she saw over and over and build an image of him. So yeah, she probably like studied that video of him for like a good like 24 hours non-stop, just like, okay, I've got to get this like memorized, visualized mental image in my head and practiced day in, day out before coming onto this mission. She did it on the off chance it could come in handy during this operation, and she's glad she did it, and glad she kept making the effort. So yeah, no doubt Nemu is probably one of the most overpowered characters in the series right now, based on her imagination. The possibilities are endless of just what creatures or people she could turn into. So as Keigo is observing this, Charmy says like, oh no wait, that is Nemu? Nemu's the one right in front of us, as Keigo confirms this before Nemu, as Shikimiya goes on and says, if you're going to be like this, I don't trust you with the bones. Give them back to me, I'll hold on to them while on the ship. So yeah, Nemu is taking a massive gamble here, hoping that it will pay off. And as she says this to Agro starts to like question it. So Chommy's getting excited here, but Keigo is probably just there thinking like, this is the massive gamble. Will it work or not? Before Nemu goes on and says, I know that Kana already stole Mavericks bone, but he doesn't. I can't let it on that he doesn't have it. So yeah, Nemu has to like play her cards right here, because one slip up, Agro figures it out right away, probably like, oh yeah, you're not Shikimiya, because if you were, then you would know something that only he would know. So yeah, Nemu really does have to play it cautiously here. As she goes on and notices that Maverick, as Maverick is a little bit grainy, she goes on and says like, no way, he's so pixelated. I'm looking at a screen cap from an old video game. So she's just, what the hell is going on here? Before as Maverick says, sorry brother, this is on me. I was just messing around, but looks like I went overboard. I can't seem to get it together today. Not even my jokes have been hitting it. I'm in a real slump, and the clue there is slump that as Maverick gives like to indicate to Nemu like, oh no, this is all right. It's slump. Slumpus Maverick says, well then, I guess I'd better do what Shakimia said and hand over the bone, as Slumpus Maverick does do this, and yeah, Charmy and Keigo are like just sweating profusely here, like, okay, so far so good, so far so good. Now all we need is just the second part of this plan to come into fruition. As she goes over to Agro and demands that he gives him yours, and yeah, they succeed. Like, they legitimately succeed. So now they've got Mavericks, they've got Agros, and Kikuya, and they've got basically like 4 of the 7 bone fragments. But yeah, 4 of the 7, that's not enough. They need all 7 of them. So like they're safe for now. But like I said, at the same time, I feel like, yeah, Bone Crisis is the name of the arc. We've got to keep that in mind. But for now, yeah, the mission is going flawlessly. But like I said, can't have flawless victories all around. But I'll give this victory for them. I'll give it smart that Nemu was able to pull this off, even though it was very intense, and one false move, Agro would have caught red-handed. So now we move into the final part of the chapter, where after getting the bone fragments, Nemu is just like, oh my god, thank god that actually worked. As we cut back more to the flashback where we have Nemu observing Keigo training to use his abilities, when she goes as, I don't have to be exactly like Mama. Of course I'm different from Nico. That's normal. It's okay to do things my way. Watching you work yourself to the bone, honing the weapons that only you have, is what helped me to change the way I fought. As we cut back to her, Shakimia, winking to Keigo, saying like, yes, this is me, confirming 100% that this is Nemu, I've succeeded, and she once again reiterates her feelings for Keigo, and that's where the chapter ends. So yeah, wow, really, if not relatively short in the grand scheme of things, it was really powerful, impactful chapter chapter that we had this week. We had last week, because now we've got Bone Crisis Part 8. Like, well, again, like I said, Bone Crisis Part 8. This arc has been going on for 2 months now, so oh my word, this is going to be intense. But yeah, like I said, really good, awesome. Really nice to see the character development that went for Nemu here. How she's gone from being like one of the most incredibly shy, like at the beginning of the series, she was afraid to even approach the team while in a human form. She had to relegate herself to a cat form. Now she's like staring down villains of the arc and really put herself on the front lines. Like, okay, I need to do this, because if I don't do this, then my friends are completely screwed in this situation. Now, like I said, even though it's been going great for the characters at the moment, it's all going to come crashing downhill. And given what I've seen in the next chapter, yeah, I feel like this is where things are going to really start hitting the fan for the characters of like, oh yeah, this plan is going to fail in such an awful way for them that, yeah, they're going to have to retreat and come up with a new plan to take down Shakimia and the Warlocks. But for now, giving them this victory and giving this moment for Nemu to shine in this chapter, I'm really showing that despite all the arguments that they had, she's still in love with Keigo, and they need to really sit down and address that and realize, like, oh my god, we both cocked up in our mistake when it came to our feelings. But at the same time, Nemu still loves him, and yeah, if they don't end up together by the end of the series, something is definitely wrong here. But yeah, with the next chapter already out, I'm really pumped to get into that and start talking about it and give me my favourites for what's going to come for the chapter after that's coming out at the end of this week. But for now, anyway guys, what did you think of this chapter itself? Let me know, like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz, and this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later guys.